and lifestyles. Welcome to the greatest colloquium cactus in existence. I put this in snake. No, I'm here. I'm here with the boys. The cool blue one-man wrecking crew. Raytron.
Is
This
that blue?
is blue.
Yeah,
Blue is
he
blue.
instantly looked down like.
Raekwon, both 1 and 2. And there's a third Raytron in there. He's hiding behind the current one. Yes. The human calculator with the numerical nomenclature. And the is that orange you're wearing?
I don't know. I think it's orange. Might be red. Teeters on both.
It's
What's
like
a
a
blend
blood
of?
orange. It's like a real
Yeah,
red
like
orange.
a blood orange. A orange. No, of orange.
Orange. Orange. Nothing rhymes with
You said blood, so I said orange.
The blood orange. Eminem claims you can rhyme syringe with orange.
This is how you say it. He also said door hinge.
Orange, syringe. Orange, syringe. Nah, that's retarded. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Look, man,
Just get on
when you
with
hear
that,
how he said it, it made sense. And like in
Anyway.
terms of rap, it makes sense.
Yeah, I'm trying, but I'm not a rapper.
Like I wouldn't put it in no Dr. Seuss. Be like orange, door hinge, like syringe.
Door hinge.
Like,
orange door hinge sounds better than syringe. It works better. Door hinge works better. It rhymes more with the orange.
yeah.
But anyways,
all right, what are we doing here? What are we doing?
yeah.
What are we doing?
The man with the plan, the ultimate Nas fan, the electric jolt, E to the J, and the strongest man in the universe, he who guards the Guardians, Vanguard. Yeah, that's that dramatic pause.
Why do you like this, bro?
What are you guys up to? Yeah, or what have you guys been up to?
Fixing my life, like always. You know, that's the pursuit of every day.
So you fixed your hairline? Because
Except my life. It's different, separate.
I don't know, man.
Yeah, we sever ties.
Yeah, we fixing your life. That's the first thing I fix. What about you, EJ?
I actually could, provide a little bit more of an answer. Usually when I
Nah, you taking it too far.
Nah, I was gonna say I had a great day at work today, man. It was really good. Because we had been planning this event at the shelter I work at for a while, and I hardly talk about my job on here, but like I said, this was one of the rare occasions in which something really amazing happened. So basically, the event was supposed to be like this fashion show, like a dress for success kind of event where the residents at the facility they put on like these professional clothes, like we got them suits and stuff, and basically just add their style to it. Something that would resemble a fashion show, like walking down the runway, different poses and stuff like that. And it was cool, man. It was cool. It tugged at my heartstrings because a lot of these guys that was in it is guys that I met with, been working with for a while. So just to see them, in a positive mood, something positive just going on in that facility, because we don't ever really have much going on there for them to look forward to. So it was a great overall day with that. And then we also got recruiters from different organizations to come down, and they were able to speak with them about some of the opportunities they had. Uh, but it was great, and everybody, all the staff members at the facility played a part in putting it together. So it was great, man.
That's good news.
It made me think about like why I really enjoy what I do. And, like it was a reminder of that today. So
It's great news.
yeah.
All right. What about you, Ray? How was your day at work?
Why you gotta be that guy, man? Why you gotta be that guy?
How good is this?
This your man's, bro?
Nah, I don't know him, bro. I don't know him.
It was just hanging there. Like, it was funny because as EJ said, I had a good day at work. I had to fight the laughter in my mouth because I thought it was a joke. I was like, hey, I was on that light Yakubu shit. No, I can't laugh yet. That's my favorite part of I love that part because he doesn't know what's coming. He really thought he was about to win, and he's laughing. Meanwhile, Nair is waiting for his ass.
I was
Yeah.
that laughter of defeat. You know, it wasn't like panic. It eventually came, turned into panic. It was just like,
Yeah.
damn, I've really been bested. That's crazy.
He didn't know what to. Because Nair pulled a fast one on his ass. Nair made him think. Nair violated. Nair made him think he was gonna
But in
win.
your mind, it was so impossible to lose. You've had everything, to benefit you.
Not even just that,
You had the upper hand.
you thought it was impossible to lose, and then the person you're playing against tricked you into thinking you're gonna win. He like put the fucking book, a fake version of the book. You sitting there thinking it's over. You're like, yeah. Like Nair didn't have to do that. Nair didn't have to do that. He chose to do that. He wanted to fuck with him. Or I don't know. I haven't watched it in a long time. Maybe when I reread that part, Nair did have a reason. Oh, I think he did. I think he
And he was laughing at him before he found out near was able to put it together, because when they went into the meeting, Near had a mask on that was like a face of L, like that was L's face, and Light was so disgusted by that. He was like, "You have no right to even associate yourself with that man."
Yeah, I remember he
Over here putting on a mask, acting like you're him. You're nowhere near him. No pun intended.
I don't remember if Nair did that because he wasn't sure if the book worked. Oh yeah, I think he was trying to get Light to incriminate himself. So
Yeah.
I think he set that whole situation up. I think that's why he did it. I don't remember. But anyways, my day was pretty all right too.
And we didn't get raised.
Oh, Ray didn't see, he just said he was fixing his life. That's all he said. He didn't say anything else. Is there anything you wanted to talk about in detail?
No.
Okay.
All right, there you go. We got his day. All right, just had to make sure.
I thought that was his answer. He said, "I'm fixing my life. I'm just fixing my life as usual." that makes it sound like your life is in shambles.
Yo, everyone's life is always in shambles.
The as usual part, Although I'm fixing my life, I'm fixing my life makes it sound like maybe things haven't been going that well. And now you're going in a better direction. But as usual makes it sound like everything.
I got that Peter Parker look.
Yeah. Anyways, yeah, my day was pretty good. Just very typical. One of my coworkers is literally working in the school now because I work through an agency. I'm about to start working in the school. I have a test to take, so like it's so cool seeing her. Like she's really happy to finally be working with the kids. I mean, I was super comedian today. I don't know why I was just making everybody laugh today. I just kept, and with my it was like very dry humor. Like I would say something weird. I think they're pretty much the same humor I have with you guys. They're more accepting of my weird jokes now. They realize that they're jokes. So yeah, today was pretty cool. Actually, today was pretty cool. Oh, something crazy. I showed a picture of a friend of mine from the past to this girl at work. So I was telling her like there were girls fighting over this guy, and then like I didn't expect her to say this. I thought maybe she was gonna be like, "Oh, he's not that bad looking," but then she goes, "Oh, he's fucking hideous," and I was like, "What?" I was like, "What?" I didn't know how to react. I was like, "Hideous."
No restraint whatsoever.
Yeah, she immediately, bro, jumped right into it. I never seen anyone call someone ugly that fast in my life. It's not. I didn't even think the guy was ugly. So I was like, to me, it was kind of weird. I'm not gonna say his name, just someone from a past job.
Oh, from a job? I thought you meant from high school. I was like, what?
Yeah, it was weird that I don't know. It was, but then she said something that made me think. I guess you guys might be interested in hearing. She said that what do you call it? That guys never have any restraint, so why should she? And I was like, I was like, is that
Cap?
yeah,
Cap.
yeah.
Cap with a capital
So you
C,
think-
bro.
Something wrong with that argument.
You
Like,
think
that's like the whole when your parents used to tell you if your friends jumped off a bridge, would you too?
Not
It's like you just follow the actions of others.
because I was just thinking, it was like, what does she mean? Guys have never had restraint? Because I was like,
That too.
No guy has ever really roasted her to her face that hard in her life. I can guarantee it. I can guarantee it, bro.
Maybe she's experienced it. Maybe that's why she's
Maybe
like that.
no. I doubt it. I just
even
doubt
if
it
they
so
did,
hard, bro.
that's like a one-off situation. It gotta be.
The thing is,
I doubt it
guys
so
are
hard, bro.
guys are cowardly in real life. Like they won't say a lot of the things, but then over the internet they do be wilding. They'll wild over.
On the phone, over the internet.
Yeah.
They're not in there, right?
But it's just like also it's like I have seen guys insult guys. I've seen guys insult girls. I've seen girls insult girls, and I've seen girls insult guys. If I had to pick someone who holds no restraint, I'm always gonna pick the girl because they will always go so hard in the paint for no reason, bro.
Yeah.
And it's like,
Especially if they
as a guy,
feel hurt, bro. It's over. If they
as a
feel
guy,
any
what can
type
you
of
do
hurt,
about
you're
that?
done.
What can you do
Clip,
with the
bro.
hurt as a guy? You can't put your hands on them, like,
Bro.
all
Not
you can
even
do
if,
is
if you're hurt as a
mop
guy
up.
and you start saying anything, they're just gonna start looking at you like you some sort of goofball. So
Yeah.
you like you don't try to like overdo it when you're hurt. But if you're hurt as a female, you go in because everyone's like, yeah, sis, be in your bag, and it's like that's what I was like, cap, bro, cap. There's no way.
I thought it was bullshit when she said that too, but it was like another girl agreed with her. But
Cap.
women,
They think that the people who have told them things weren't holding back.
Yeah.
That's what they believe.
It's another level. You might not think there's another level, but trust me, there is another level.
It might just
like that was only phase 1, bro. You haven't even got to phase 2.
It might be that they've encountered people on the internet saying like
crazy even on
things.
The internet, they is not.
No, on the internet, niggas
these internet
niggas be wilding on the internet. They be saying.
But who are these people? Like, who are these people that people on the internet saying some wild shit to them?
I don't know. Oh no, these niggas will go into random bitches' inbox saying weird, creepy shit, and then they make it bad for the rest of us.
I've seen the shit people saying Pokemon. If you not Pokemon and you getting this type of shit, you need to get your money up because she's not getting this kind of hate for free.
I mean, the girl that I was talking to, she does post a lot of pictures. And like she posts like supermodel level kind of stuff. So it might be possible that she elicits a lot of attention. And see, the thing with some men is there are men out there
who hate for free, bro. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, some men, what they'll do is like if they don't think they can get somebody, they'll start acting mean and nasty towards them. That's like their like revenge against the bitch. Like, and women do it too. Actually, women do it as well. People do it. But I've seen like I remember a girl told me a story right about how she was on the train. And like she's just sitting there, and she had huge boobs. This girl, right? She had huge boobs. She's telling me the story about how she's on the train, and this guy's on the train, completely normal, right? Then as soon as he's getting off the train, like he was on the train normal, using his phone, he's getting off the train. He looks back inside and goes, "Nice tits," and then the doors close, and then. Well, you see, in the moment when she's telling me the story, I can't laugh, so I had to fight it. It was another tongue-in-cheek. Well, I'm like,
I'm not laughing because what he said was funny. It's the situation overall is funny. It's just like
what he did was weird.
It was like, why would you do that? Like, what was your goal? Like, you just really had to let her know, bro. Like, it's like
I said to her,
"Pardon me, ma'am. I don't know if you know, but you have a very nice bosom." Like, what the fuck?
You say something like that to a woman, she might actually appreciate it. Like, she might just find it
all right,
funny.
No. Now I'm gonna need you to start going up to bitches like that, bro. I'm gonna need you to play. Pardon me, man.
It's dangerous for
sure. I need you to do it.
It's dangerous for
You won't have to confirm the statement that you have just said, bro.
Well, I mean, I've literally seen Amelia walk up to a girl because I looked at her, some white girl, and she had like a fatty, right? And all I said was, "Oh, that girl has fat ass." And Amelia walks in. You want me to tell her? And before I could say anything, he walks up to the woman and tells her, "Oh, my friend there, he thinks you have a nice butt. Like you have a very nice." And yeah, to the woman's face, bro. And she just looked back and she was smiling and she said, "Thank you." And I was like, "Okay." I was like, "All right."
All right, but that's the Emilio outlier there, bro.
Yeah, that was weird.
That man can do whatever he wants.
I thought he was gonna get the shit smacked out of him. I thought it was over. I thought she was gonna smack him or something. And
man, has a woman ever slapped that man? I think he's too smooth to get slapped.
Oh, he's gotten pushed. He got shoved once, and then he was about to walk back, and I had to be like, "Yo, Emilio, it's not like we can.
Not worth it, bro.
It's
Like,
not
yo,
worth it." Because there was
back
two guys
back
there.
off.
Yeah, two guys there, me and him, and those two guys did not look like. I mean, they were Asian, so maybe they knew kung fu or something.
Jesus. Please strip that from the record.
They were Asian, but that girl with the who the guy told her she had nice tits. I told her the reason he probably did that was because he's looking at her, and in his mind he thinks he could never have her, so he said that like it's kind of like a dig, like he's like, oh, if I can't have you, I'm gonna make you uncomfortable, that kind of thing. Like when construction workers jeer at a woman, none of them ever expect anything to come of it. It's just like a kind of like a weird revenge thing. That's the thing feminists get right. They talk about that. It's true. Like it's a true thing. Men do that.
Yeah.
Well, weird men anyway.
Yeah, because I was like, I just never crossed my mind.
Yeah, like
never crossed
weird
my
guys
mind.
who act out of lash out of anger. It's like when the guy has a crush on the girl at school, so he starts teasing her and bullying her, that kind of thing. Yeah, one of those. But guess we could first. I wanted to ask Ray about something. What's the whole controversy with that Mr. Beast thing? I haven't looked into that at all.
All right, so if you don't know, Mr. Beast went out of his way to cure 1,000 people's blindness. Not even just the U.S., like around the globe. Like he went to a bunch of different countries and cured blindness in 1,000 people. And I don't know if you guys know, but a lot of people's blind, like over 50% of the blindness in the world, can be cured in a very, very simple surgery, like 10 minutes max, right? Like,
oh, so he paid for the surgery.
So he paid for the surgery, yeah. Like he paid for the surgery, and he like some people shared their stories of how it happened and whatnot. But in true Mr. Beast fashion, he didn't just give them surgery. He also gave them a bunch of other prizes too, because he's Mr. Fucking Beast. So one guy got a car, one guy got 10K. Like, he was just giving out people. He was just giving shit out.
I want to ask if he gave people some money.
Yeah. So not only did these people get their vision restored, they also got set up to like capitalize on this newfound sense that they've gotten back, right? So a lot of people were like, holy shit, that's cool as hell. Like, congratulations, like you really did just help 1,000 people greatly. And then a bunch of trolls were just like, it's so weird because I can't even wrap my mind around like fixing myself to go onto Twitter and type this. There's like, yo, maybe we gotta stop dancing for these millionaires and billionaires to like give us our basic human decency. And I was like, so this man went out of his way to cure 1,000 people.
A decency? That's a decency, right?
And like, bro, like, nah, to sit here and say that he's having them dance for it too, that's fucking. Yo, have you ever watched the Mr. Beast video? Like, that's crazy to sit here and be like, oh, they're dancing for his pennies. It's like, nah, that's that. Look, I don't know the guy. I'm not like worshiping him or nothing, but like from the things I've seen about this man, he's not that kind of guy who's like, yeah, bend over backwards and get these 5 singles. Like, he's not that kind of guy. So to sit there and say those things, I'm just like, yo, you must have just not even watched the video. You must have just saw it and be like,
you don't even need to. You don't even need to.
You must have really just like.
What you just sat here and explained to us. This man essentially gave these 1,000 individuals their life back. We're talking about eyesight. I mean, I know the cars is cool and anything else he gave them the money. That's cool. But just the eyesight part, just to be able to live your life and have 100% of your vision back.
And like that's the kind of shit
you don't even need to say anything else after that.
That's the kind of shit you'd see happen in some sci-fi movies. Some like alien lands on the planet and cures everybody.
Yeah, Ray Charles is still around. Maybe Stevie Wonder got to meet with this guy. Like, that's possible.
But yeah, they were. A lot of people were comparing it to the filming. When people was like they give homeless people sandwiches, they were comparing it to that, and I was like, that is not the same at all.
Sure, you can say, okay, he did something nice that was performative and recorded it, right? But he still cured their fucking blindness.
No, you want to know? If you want to speak about nuance, here's the difference between what they were doing and what Mr. Beast is doing, right? Mr. Beast's like main source of income is YouTube, right? So them just being in the video paid for their own surgery. Like, that is how Mr. Beast leverages giving away all this money. because the video itself pays for the video. So it's like,
Mm,
all right, like if I want to give 1,000 people their eyesight
that's
back, I
smart.
have to
That's
make the
smart.
money off the video. And someone else brought up a great point. Is like these people, they all had consent. Like they got consent to be in the video. He asked people to be in the video because I don't know. I think the video is like a 20-minute video. That's not 1,000 niggas in that video, bro. That's not. Like 1,000 people aren't there being recorded.
Yeah, but even then, like after curing somebody's fucking blindness, the least he can get out of it is a YouTube video, right?
Yep.
But
Like,
I'm just saying, like they're making it seem like, oh, he only do this so he can make the money. It's like, nigga, do you know what Mr. Beast does with the money that he makes? He gives it away. His whole business model is to make money to give it away. That's all he does.
I'll take it back to the site. Do these trolls know what it's like to be blind, to walk around without vision? Jesus Christ, you probably give anything to get your sight back. Fuck
And
dancing for
he
it.
literally had the surgeon in there like chatting and explaining these things. It's not like he was all right. We're giving people like their sight back, and no, he literally had the guy sitting there explaining like how this affects so many different people, the type of surgery that is needed, the fact that only like 50% of the blindness is very curable. Like I knew this shit, but I have a fucking degree in like healthcare stuff. So I like he's not even the only place that does this, right? Like there's this company in India that like literally go out of their way to give people their sight back. They will literally shuttle you for free to their location to give you your sight back.
Damn.
And like all of it's for free.
Never
You
heard
know
of
how
this
they
stuff.
make their money? People who want to pay. That's it. That's how they make their money. That's it. That's the business model. They're like, if you can't afford it, you can pay if you want. If you can't, don't care. Like it's
Yeah,
actually
'cause
insane.
that's a major part of someone's life. You know, it's
now,
not like
what you don't get. What you don't get is they installing cameras in their eyes. That's part of the conspiracy.
we're not talking about getting some kind of fucking augmentation or some type of enhancement. Like no, you need your eyes. You need it's a large part of
Yeah.
your existence to
It's
be
literally
able
like,
to see.
you know how much of the fucking brain functions to keep our eyes working?
Yeah.
The eye is like one of the most important organs we have. Literally, it's one of like, man, you know, like our fucking eyes are amazing, amazing organs. Like there's so many pieces in there and components that function to make that thing as good as it is.
Yep.
So it gives that back to someone.
The greatest gift. One of
Yeah.
the greatest gifts.
But you know, no good deed goes unpunished. You know, like the road to hell is paved with good intentions. Right?
But I also think it's so goofy because like when Mr. Beast was remaking Squid Games, no one gave a fuck. He was remaking Squid Games. No one gave a shit. When he's out here just giving people money for the fucking hell of it, no one gives a shit. Man goes out here and restores eyesight, and now it's a problem. That's fucking goofy to me.
I think it's two things. I think one, it's envy. Of course, there's naturally that part
Fucking
of it.
goofy, bro.
It's envy, but I think the other part of it is now in their. It's like he performed an almost, I want to say, messianic thing. You know, like what he did, healing these people's like injury. It recalls like a sort of almost religious awe within you. So I think that's part of why they singled this out. You know what I mean? Like, like I think it would be a little different if you replaced their limbs with like fake limbs or something. But I guess the act of like healing their blindness kind of recalls this sort of like religious sort of attachment, like a spiritual thing to it. I think maybe that's why they got so mad at it. That's the only way I could see.
Yeah.
Because I can see why you would like. Because even when 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 they announced he did this, my first thought was like, "That's some Jesus shit," you know? Like that was the first thought that went across my mind. I was like, "That's some Jesus shit right there." I was like, "That's kind of." It was kind of bizarre. I was like, "That's kind of weird," but then I'm like, "Oh, okay." I didn't know, man. I don't know. 'Cause I remember even Ray was like, "I don't know if this is real."
I didn't think it was real because I was like, can you do that?
Yeah,
That's what I was
Jesus,
thinking
do
as you
that?
were explaining it.
yeah, man. Jesus, man. No good deed goes unpunished. That shit is definitely true.
I mean, at least it's not being punished by the people he actually cured, and it's just coming from.
He actually gets sued. He's like, actually, I
Yeah.
never wanted my eyesight back, so
Some fucking Mr. Incredible.
yeah, it's like no one asked you for this, bro. I was like, no, wait, you literally You literally signed the paper that said you wanted this. I signed it under duress, actually.
Bro, hard. Random. This is not related, but it does lead into our next topic as it relates to superheroes. But unpopular opinion. That nigga had a right to sue Mr. Incredible. He fucked him up. Like he fucked that
He was
guy
like,
up.
"Oh man, I wanted to die, and now I got to live in suffering."
There were other people though who were wilding. The people that got saved from the trade crash, like they were bugging. But the guy who just jumped off the building and got every bone in his body broken, that guy had a case. Like I can understand why he was so fucking angry.
You
Like,
think
I
there was a
think
way
this-
for him to do it without without like hurting that guy? That's as bad as he did. I don't think there was, TBH.
It was too sudden. I forgot why he jumped over there like that. He was
Because
doing something
no,
else.
like, yeah, he just saw the guy falling. He was like, I have to catch him now. So he like caught him and he like went through the next building. But like Incredible survived it because he's incredible.
Because he had just stopped the train, right? Or did he
No,
stop the train?
he was doing something completely else. Like he was just on the roof of a different building.
Yeah, right. And then he ran across and he caught him and crashed through the building. And then I think that's how he bumped into Bon Voyage.
Yeah, it was completely just.
Bon Voyage. Yeah. Just fucking lucked into. Oh, yeah, the guy's laying there on the floor. I do remember that. The guy's laying there on the floor in fucking pain. Bon Voyage is one of the coolest villains ever because that name is like I can't believe no one thought of that sooner. Bon Voyage, a French guy with fucking bad explosives. I was like,
He was a mime too, I think.
yeah,
Lucy.
yeah. I was like, yes. I was like, yes. I was like, as a kid, I was like, yeah, yeah. How come no one thought about this?
Oh yeah, he
It's
was a
just
mom.
it's that ridiculously corny shit that is just so funny. Bon Voyage.
You know, when they
But-
banned heroes, the supervillains didn't get banned, right? So did they just go on a rampage?
They never even talked about it.
Yeah, I think everything just went back to normal, but I think that's kind of weird. I was like, wait, so supervillainy just didn't just go out of hand? Like
Well, it might have been that supervillains weren't as common already anyway.
they were already on the decline?
Yeah, because they kept insinuating that they don't need heroes. So in order for them to say something, and that does sound like exactly something that would happen after heroes have given you their lives and protected you for that long. The moment you don't need them, you start demeaning them and put
I
them
mean,
down.
my hero tried to go that route. It's not working as well.
But anyways, yeah, you can go ahead and open materials and open up that article because I want to talk about these DC films that have been announced. That ay ay ay, ay ay ay. That's all I'll say. Ay ay ay.
Oh, here it is.
All right. So yeah, I mean he has a video talking about this too, but the video was corny. At least I thought.
Website not found. I literally on the website. What are you talking about?
Oh, it's not opening in the other.
It's just here.
What the hell did I just do?
What did you do?
Oh, I tried to do the pop up, but it's not like popping out. I don't know why.
So here's the article. Here's some goofiness about it.
What do you find goofy about it?
Look, man, I generally don't care about any of this anymore. I am not excited. I'm not disappointed. I just don't care. Like, I don't care.
Yeah. Why is it doing this?
So, what do you want to talk about it?
Just the projects in general. That are
10
weird.
projects that are being led by who? James Gunn. That guy. I don't know who the guy is. A new Batman movie without Robert Pattinson. Featuring his murderous son. Oh, so Damien's in it?
Apparently.
A Superman
Wait,
movie.
no, scroll down. Scroll down to the actual. There's actual list of these things.
An actual list?
Yeah, you should see it. You're gonna see like Creature Commandos when you go down.
Oh, here. They're bolded, right? Yeah, Creature Commandos.
So, yeah, they're calling the first phase Chapter 1.
All right, they were just like, hey, everything that happened before this, don't even worry about.
Yeah.
A 7-episode animated series written by Gunn, Creature Commandos. I mean, that looks fine, I guess. Like, I don't know. Like, it looks fine.
What I found funny about the Creature Commandos thing is what
Waller?
you said about
What did he
Yeah.
say?
So he goes, "What the fuck?" Sorry, this is
The voices yet to been cast. Blah blah blah.
He goes when he says the Creature Commandos thing. He starts talking about how DC is doing something unique in that it's gonna have the same voice actors carry over, or like most of the same voice actors, as if DC started this whole like animated leading into the movies thing. And I'm just like, Marvel is doing that already. So how is that this new thing? I mean, maybe it's new for DC. I don't know.
I don't even care.
We got the Waller
Waller
spinoff.
spinoff about Waller, which is
Ay,
sure. Superman Legacy. Uh,
yeah.
apparently, Chris Pratt might be Superman now.
Oh my god.
Um, yeah. So Chris
Okay.
Pratt might be Superman
And then
now.
check that out. Check that out. Right. It focusing on Superman balancing his Kryptonian heritage with his human upbringing. And like people, that's not new. That's not new at all. Every Superman movie fucking does that. Like every Superman, whatever. Then you have Lanterns under there, which is like they say it's inspired by True Detective. It's like a cop show, but in space. Um, to be honest, that's the only thing on this entire fucking list that sounded vaguely interesting to me. Vaguely
A
interesting.
movie based on the team of superheroes, the Authority. I forgot to say
This
the name.
is the dumbest one on the entire list. I think this is one of the stupidest things they have there. Like, it's really weird because the Authority is literally just the Justice League, or very similar to the Justice League anyway. They're like a bunch of Justice League-esque analogs. Like, Apollo and Midnighter, they're Superman and Batman. So like, I don't know. I just don't feel like I don't know how they're gonna go a route that's gonna make these people more original. And also it's like, I don't know. I don't know, man. It's just weird to make a movie based on these characters that don't really have much of an I don't know. Like I feel like a lot I don't know if people are gonna care about this movie. They just finished complaining about all the dark superhero films. I guess this was him just trying to give like a little bit of that still. And you have Paradise Lost. That's a Game of Thrones style drama set on the all-female island of Demascaria. Well, Demascara.
That
That
place.
Jesus Christ. Yeah, that's all I can. That's all I'm gonna say to that. Then you have The Brave and the Bold. That's the Batman movie. That's gonna introduce Damian Wayne.
Why
Jesus.
didn't they pick a new name for that movie? Because they already got the animated series with that same name.
That's exactly
Well,
why.
yeah, they chose it. A lot of these things are chosen to reflect, you know, popular names that already exist. Like he was even saying, we're going to take inspiration from the animated movies. All that means is they're going to take vague
That sounds
elements.
confusing.
Yeah, it is very confusing. Then you got they're keeping the Batman. They're also keeping Aquaman, and yeah, they're keeping fucking Flash. So you got that.
Wait,
There's
they're
a boost.
keeping Flash?
Yeah,
They're
yeah, they still have.
keeping. They're keep. What? No. Like, that guy gets to keep playing Flash.
Yeah, the universe. His movie's gonna reset the universe.
But like after that, he still gonna be Flash?
I'm guessing so. I doubt
Because
they're just gonna recast him unless. I really think they should just take that guy from the CW shows and just thrust him in there. I really think they might have a chance if they do that because he's at least recognizable as the Flash. People look at him and remember him as Barry Allen. Nobody looks at fucking Ezra,
Miller.
child kidnapper. No one looks at Ezra
Ugh.
kidnapper Miller as the fucking Flash. You look at him as that weird guy. He already tarnished the name. You might as well try and use some brand recognition and get that old guy.
Introduces our favorite Robin, Damian Wayne.
Goofballs. These guys are goofy. These guys, but
Favorite Robin, Damian Wayne.
Damian Wayne is they've salvaged him a
Oh,
little bit in the comics, but
favorite.
Christ, yeah, I don't know favorite. That is crazy. They went ahead and
Crazy title, bro. We're not even
skipped Dick
gonna.
Grayson, bro.
We're not even gonna get Tim Drake.
That's what Tim Drake again is my favorite Robin.
You're
And
not
like,
even.
but
You're not even gonna put no respect on Dick Grayson. That's crazy.
yeah, like Tim is the
And just
best.
by having Damien, that means all the other ones existed, right?
Yeah,
Right.
I'm guessing that's the route they're going.
Um. So they're gonna have 2 Batman.
Yeah, but the other one's not in the universe, so
So like they're just gonna have 2 Batman.
yeah.
Why?
Because the other Batman movie did good.
So like they were completely ready to drop it like a hot potato, but they were like, "Fuck, it did better than we thought." So now they have to keep it.
Really was hoping they would just try to make Green Lantern relevant again, but whatever.
Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow.
I meant Green Arrow. The Supergirl project. I might check out a little bit of that only to see if it puts some respect back on Supergirl name and redeem her after that clusterfuck that was a Supergirl TV show. I might check out a little bit, but I'm not gonna actually watch any of these things. Like if I check any of these things out, it'll be like what I did with Loki and Falcon and the Winter Soldier, where I watched like 2 episodes and then was like, yeah, this sucks, and then just stopped watching them. I can't even if they're good. Even if they're good, I might stop because
Bro, I read this little blurb right here, and I don't think I'm gonna like what they're gonna do with the Supergirl.
They said she's darker. She's much more jaded than Superman. Oh no, she's much more hardcore than not the Supergirl we're used to. Oh, this is gonna be an annoying version of Supergirl. Yeah, I'm gonna watch.
Apparently she watched everyone around her die. She was raised on a rock. So they're gonna be like, "Yo, she's tortured and brutal." I was like, "Oh my god!"
It's like they're doing with the Argo City storyline, where she was like in hibernation on Argo City.
And then there's Swamp Thing that gets a sentence.
Yeah, that's weird. I don't know why.
It's gonna be horror.
Who is Swamp Thing related to? Like, I know he's an enemy.
He is the Swamp
Thing. He's
an
enemy, right?
He is the Green, bro. He is Mother Earth, and he's Mother Earth just personified. Stop pollution.
He's very powerful.
Wait, so he's a hero or a villain?
So you gotta get rid of this notion of hero or villain, bro.
That's usually how DC draws it up.
Don't talk about it like you out here reading this shit, nigga. That's usually, nigga, shut the fuck up.
That's usually what they do.
Oh man,
doesn't take much to know.
So was there anything on that list that appealed to you guys?
No, I don't care.
Maybe the Swamp Thing, the fact that they only left it to 1 sentence means that they want you to find out for yourself, probably.
Not even Lanterns, Raytron?
No, I don't care about anything. No, I don't care.
I just don't give a shit.
Yeah, I really don't. Like, it's not like, oh, I'm so disappointed. I generally do not give a rat's ass. Like, good or bad. I just.
Does anything pique your interest?
No, that's what I'm trying to explain to you. Like, I don't care about any of the titles.
Oh, that's interesting.
I don't care, bro.
Green Lantern don't get no respect.
See, no, we're not even talking. No,
Love and Thunder, but Green Lantern don't get no respect.
Look, man, I'm not even gonna act like I'm the biggest Green Lantern fan. First off, like I like the cartoon, yeah, but I'm not gonna bend over backwards to see everything with that nigga in it. I'm not. I don't even know which Green Lantern it's gonna be. If they're doing a cop type thing, it's gonna be
John and Hal together.
Okay, because I was thinking like if it's gonna be a cop thing, it has to be John, right?
It's like a buddy cop thing. I know John isn't a cop. John was he wasn't even a soldier until they reinvented him. He used to just be an architect, and then he became a soldier. So
I used to want to be an architect. That's separate conversation.
Fuck architects.
Yeah, I hate the architects. But yeah, so Lanterns is like the only thing I cared about. The Superman movie is just going to be more of the same.
Even though Swamp Thing, that's crazy.
Man, you don't even know who Swamp Thing is.
I'm interested now.
I don't trust these people to deliver an interesting Swamp Thing story. I trust them to introduce a Swamp Thing story chock full of all sort of stupid social messages. Sure. But
bro, it's gonna be Clapton Planet, the movie.
Yeah. The Lanterns thing though?
Or it's gonna be like polluters are getting murdered by Swamp Thing because they polluted.
Lanterns?
That'd be fucking stupid.
Or they're just gonna do what they did with the last Swamp Thing, which is just adapt to Alan Moore's run. And it's like the show already did that. The show that you guys canceled. Yeah, there was a show that everyone loved. Everyone thought the show was good. And then it got canceled. And everyone was mad that the show got canceled.
You want to know what the CEO of Netflix said? I never canceled a successful show.
Jeez.
By the way, they
Anyway.
canceled Inside Job, which was popular.
Hmm.
Which is why he even said that shit.
I don't even know why people like that show so much. I mean, when I saw it, it just looked like another Rick and Morty riff. But I'd have to
I watched it.
actually.
It was just kind of funny.
Oh,
It was it. It was kind of funny. The main character was off her rocker, but not the same way that Rick is off her rocker. Like, you're not supposed to like her. She's not like, I'm an asshole and this is why you like me. She's just an asshole. And then there's the guy who's supposed to be the regular man who's like, by the way, you're a fucking asshole and no one likes you. And she's like, oh shit. Maybe I should stop being an asshole. Unlike Rick, who's like, I'm an asshole and everyone loves me because they eventually realize being an asshole's good. It's like, no. Like, no one likes you. You're actually a piece of shit.
and I guess the Creature Commandos thing, because they're going back to animation. That might might want to see what they're doing with animation. Yeah.
It's 7 episodes. It's gonna be great, and then they're never gonna do anything like it again because it's animated.
Yeah. Man, that animation style looks a little generic anime-ish, but yeah. And of course,
Swamp Thing is really his own thing.
This looks
I feel.
anime-ish to you?
yeah, it's anime-ish. We both know that's anime inspired. Let's not play games. Like, come on. You know that almost every action cartoon in America since fucking 1996 has just lifted designs from anime. Like, let's stop playing games. Like from 1980s, to be honest. They were all inspired heavily by anime designs and kept doing that over and over again.
I was gonna say, why did you say 1996 specifically? Was it because that was the year you was born?
It was just a random number. So yeah, probably the year that I was born, just popped by. Like yeah, you look at the shading and the angles on that. Very stylistic. Very the blocky Americanness is not really here, except for the guy who's supposed to be muscular, I guess. Yeah.
What's up with
Looks
that goofy ass monster all the way on the right?
That's
James,
he was in the new Suicide Squad movie.
yeah. James Gunn being James Gunn.
What is it? The Weasel or some shit?
Weasel, yeah, I remember Weasel.
That's the thing that makes me least excited for this new universe is man, that tone. This universe is probably gonna have the shittiest tone on the planet. Because James Gunn does not know how to make tonally consistent movies. Like like he literally said this himself that Guardians of the Galaxy was was very like when he said when he made Peacemaker, they allowed him to do whatever he wanted. And you know, if you watch Peacemaker, it's very stupid juvenile humor and violence, like gratuitous violence and yeah, just like very stupid jokes that aren't even that funny. Like only there's some running gags that are funny ideas, like Peacemaker claiming all these bizarre things about about heroes that probably aren't true. Like that that like Green Arrow goes undercover at Pride or some shit. Like they had
Yeah.
it like that, like all sorts of weird things. But then a lot of like weird like butt jokes and stuff like that, and I'm just like, this is like the kind of humor. This is the kind of adult humor that we enjoy when we're 12 years old. That we're just looking like, look at that, they're having sex. You know, like that is that kind of adult humor. I was like, oh, how many times can you have people say fuck in one conversation? Like, how many times can they say fuck and shit? And like, it gets kind of annoying. So I know that this universe is gonna be like attempts at being edgy. They're just gonna be lame and dumb, and I'm not really looking forward to it. Like, I can't wait to see a Superman who acts like a weird pansy because they're trying very hard to differentiate him from the original Superman. So the new Superman is probably going to be like this soft wimp who's like the nice guy. And I don't want to see that. I don't want to see that because I remember there's this guy named Max Landis, and he wrote Superman American Alien, but he had probably one of the most outspoken stances against Man of Steel. And he had this pitch series he made, similar to the thing I wanted to do with G.I. Joe, where I was like, here's my take on G.I. Joe. He wanted to show his take on the DC universe. So he made like a whole pitch. I think he called it the Kryptonian Epic, right? And his Superman in that series is just such a fucking loser. Like every time He's just like this wimp who's like so like he's like this idiot wimp who like everybody knows more than him, and I'm just like, this is annoying. I was like, why do you guys find the Superman so appealing? I was like, this is not Superman. This is like a wannabe Peter Parker in Superman dressing. I was like, it's annoying. Yeah. I don't know. So I'm not disappointed because this is exactly what I expected. But as soon as I read that slate, I was like, and thus ends the DC universe, not with a bang, but with a whimper. That was like the first thought. They were like, who? No one's gonna give a fuck about like you. There are a bunch of people having false, like fake enthusiasm, because like I want to say 70 to even 80, possibly even 90% of the people who cover a lot of this comic book material and comic book media and all that kind of stuff, they're paid. Like they're a bunch of paid people who their career hinges on them giving good reviews or at least middling reviews to these things. Like they're very rarely are they going to be like, that sucks. Like when DC was the new player, then they were allowed to do that because they were the new guys. But when Marvel was dominant and was pretty much paying all their checks, like a video about any Marvel property would guarantee views and that kind of thing. And if you could get Marvel to not like to like give you exclusives and stuff, it's like you give them some good reviews, so you can keep getting them exclusives. Like and you can't give Marvel movies bad reviews because people will be like, "What are you fucking retarded?" So you gotta give them good reviews. So they knew what they were doing. So there was a lot of false enthusiasm. A lot of people being honest and saying there's a lot of people saying they were confused because the slate he picked here was very weird, like a bunch of random things. But this is James Gunn trying to prove he's a genius, I guess. He's like, yeah, you see, I took all these unique characters. I'm gonna make this unique universe. It's like it has no cohesion. He chose a bunch of random shit that doesn't seem to really relate to any of the other stuff. I don't know how you're gonna build a fucking universe out of this. If you want to do it in a typical MCU fashion, but yeah, a lot of these products, like I don't know. No one's gonna give a fuck about the Creature Commandos. I know that. I don't know why you'd make a Batman movie and not put the name in the movie. They're gonna change that. They're not gonna call that shit Brave and the Bold. The name is gonna change soon. That's a placeholder name. There's nowhere they're making a movie about Batman named the Brave and the Bold. Like that's not happening. Like Batman's name is gonna be in that fucking movie. Like look at that. Like Man of Steel 2 had Batman in it. What did they do? Fucking retooled the film and made sure his name was in the front. Batman, they're gonna make sure they milk Batman's name for all it's worth. Um, yeah. But yeah, the last time I talked to a girl about this kind of stuff, she was just talking about how I seem so jaded and cynical and a hater. And I was like, that's like, what do you want from me? It's like these things usually suck.
Stop
It's
being a
like,
hater.
yeah, it's like, yeah, I don't like this stuff. I mean, it's because I'm not even a purist. I'm not even a purist in terms of like comic book material. Like I'm fine with changes, but a lot of the changes these people will make seem unfucking necessary and just bizarre. Like it doesn't enhance the story in any way. And, like you just did some random shit for no reason. Like why did you do that? Like look at even Thor: Love and Thunder is a perfect example of that. I mean they did that because Christian Bale probably just didn't want to wear the fucking makeup. But you look at Gore and how he looks in the comics and look at Christian Bale and it's like, what were you guys thinking? Like what was going through your head when you decided to deliver this malnourished, HIV infected version of Gore that everyone agrees looks like he's on crack? Like what's going on here? I don't know, man. They really don't give a fuck. That's all I can say. That right there should prove to everyone that they do not give a fuck. But when you complain about this stuff, people will literally say to you, like especially with DC, why can't you just be happy that DC is making things? And it's like be happy and consume. They're so used to being consumers that like any shade of criticism you have is like it's the worst thing ever. It's like you're coming for their religion, you know? Yeah. I don't know, man. How disappointing. Of course, Ezra Miller gets to stay, but Henry Cavill's gone.
If you read the article, they were talking about he wasn't fired. He just was never casted. I was like, sounds like he was fired to me. Like, sounds like he was fired to me. But he's like, yo, I like the guy. He's cool. It's just he wasn't the Superman for this story. I was like, whatever, man.
Yeah, they claim they want a younger Superman now. So be prepared for bitch Superman. Yeah. Yo, how much of a chance do you think that they gonna give us gay Superman?
Who's gonna play him is the real question.
Do you think that's gonna really happen, Ray? You think he'll do it?
But like, that has to be his son, right? It has to be John.
Do you think they will be so disrespectful as to just make it the actual Superman?
It has to be his son. It has to be John. Also, no, I don't think they're gonna do that
I mean, Ray,
because
check the movie's name, Superman Legacy. Legacy. That's kind of weird, isn't it? It kind of makes you wonder.
no, I don't think it could be.
Yeah, I really fucking hope not. But you never know with these fucking people. You never know. You know they're still making that Black Superman movie? That's still happening. It was supposed to be a Black Superman movie. That's still happening. Henry Cavill was canceled as Superman, but we're still getting Black Superman because we need that. Ooh, yeah. Black Superman. Like, who the fuck asked for that? Who woke up one day and was like, you know what I need in my life? I need Superman to be black.
I don't need anything
Like,
from
yo,
DC.
be
I
honest,
don't need anything from DC, bro.
no, but think about it. Have you ever any point in your life looked at Superman and was like, you know what would make him better? What would make him more interesting to me if he was black?
I
Have you
never
ever?
thought about that about anybody ever.
It's
Not
so
once have I thought,
you
damn, I
know,
really wish I saw this hero but black.
yeah, I really
Not.
wish that guy was black. That'd make him so much more interesting if he was black. I can only relate to people who look exactly like me.
What voice is that? What voice are you doing?
I don't know. It's just a generic make fun of people voice. Oh, whenever they're making fun of people on South Park, they kind of do a similar voice. Like whenever they'll have someone on the news, they're like, "My name is," and they'll do this like goofy voice for them all the time. Now, the best voice South Park ever did was when they had the Pet Cemetery guy show up, and I forgot what episode that was. It's like the ground to shower. Remember, like the ground to shower. And that voice always fucking kills me. Because I think the point is, he kept showing up trying to give his little speech, and everyone would get annoyed and like just be ignoring him. Am I remembering it correctly?
I have no idea. I never saw that episode.
I know what you're talking about. I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, he's like the ground to shower. Because if you see the actual movie, then he's like, it was just funny. I love when you actually get these references. Like you'll be watching something and you actually saw the thing they're referencing. Because sometimes like Family Guy or some of these shows will reference something, but they won't do it so explicitly.
Yeah.
Like it would be a character that kind of resembles another character. He's like, wait a minute, this is a reference to that fucking movie. Oh man, like an Earthworm Jim has a scene like that where it's like these two guys designed to look. I think it was Earthworm Jim, where they're designed to look like Beavis and Butthead, and they're sitting in a car. And I think they're what were they talking about? They're like something like you know what they call a cheeseburger in France, and like they're they're having a car, and then immediately you get as they're talking, they're like, oh, this is a Pulp Fiction reference. Except instead of instead of talking about Amsterdam, they're talking about France and cheeseburgers. Oh man, it's goofy stuff.
Royale with cheese. For those that don't know, I've never seen that
Yeah.
movie. A Royale with cheese.
Yeah. Oh my god. Oh, you know what they do? They dip they put mustard on their fries. Not mustard, mayonnaise on their fries. That was fucking weird, I'm not gonna lie. I was like, okay. But damn. If you guys had this is more of a question for Ray, because I don't know. Actually, no, I would like to see James. If you were the one that was chosen to reboot the DC universe, Ray, what would you have been like? What would have been your slate immediately? Like the things that have to come out, like hot off the presses to set up your universe.
Well, we'll probably need a Superman. I wouldn't have redone Batman because the Patterson Batman did fine, right? Like I wouldn't have done that. So I would have had a Superman. Because Patterson is younger, I kind of understand myself see doing a younger Superman too, just to keep them on the same level.
Wait, so you'd have them cross over?
Look, man, you gonna tell me there's gonna be a Batman and a Superman that they don't meet? Come on, that's weird. That's so
You're not,
weird to
you're
me.
not, you're not gonna make a separate Batman. You're gonna use the same one.
Look, I would have had the Patterson Batman because I would have had the Gotham shit eventually get into like the creepy realm of like supernatural, and then that introduces the weird fantastical Superman element. Because like Gotham would be really supernatural and like yeah, supernatural is just a word, right? Paranormal, that's the another word, right? So it'll seem grounded in that sense where it's not like stuff from the stars, and Superman would be dealing with like space, and eventually they could like overlap because they're both dealing with like enhanced individuals. So that's the route I would go with, right? And then I feel like Wonder Woman, she could just do Wonder Woman things, right? I feel like she'd be the middle ground where like she's dealing with like weird god stuff that may or may not be real, right?
Yeah, just have her be just have her be your Thor. Just have her deal with all the mythological.
That's what I'm saying. Like, it should do be dealing with all that, and it may or may not be real. Like, people would hear her speaking about myths or whatnot, and they'd be like, that didn't happen, right?" And you'd be like, "I don't fucking know. Maybe." Like
Oh,
it should be a real. It should be like something you question. You're like,
so you're
"Is
kicking
God
things off
real?"
with the Trinity. Then you're kicking things off with the Trinity.
Brother in Christ. How could I not? And then I would have Titans, but I'd probably have it. I don't want it to center around Raven because we've done that, been there, done that.
I think the Titans thing would be cool if it was the Titans. You do what the show was trying to do, but not so stupid and edgy, and you just have it be like Dick and some of the originals kicking off
I
a
don't
new
think it'd be
generation.
Dick.
Yeah, just kicking off a new
I'd
generation.
probably have it be Tim.
Mm.
Like I don't think it'd
Oh,
be
so
Dick. I'd probably have it be Tim.
then you don't use Raven at all. Then
That's what
just
I'm
use
saying. I wouldn't have it be about Raven. I'd have it. I'd probably get Aqualad in there, like the other Aqualad. I'd probably have.
so you're making like a Young Justice almost kind of like a. I think it could work, but you might as well just call it Teen Titans. Don't even go with the Titans route. Just call it Teen Titans.
When I said the name Titans, I was just saying Titans in general. I wasn't even calling the movie Titans. I was just like,
Yeah, you
these
could.
niggas know the Titans.
They're making a Blue Beetle movie. You can throw
See,
Blue Beetle.
I wasn't even gonna have Beetle on the Titans. I was gonna, if anything, Beetle
No, I feel
would
like
be
that.
like, no. Listen. Like I would have the Titans exist, and Blue Beetle be like, damn, I wish I could join the Titans. So he'd be like removed in that sense, right? So I'd probably like give him his own thing, not even because like he has his own thing. It's just like he'd just be like, damn, I want to join like those guys, because to him that'd be like the league. Like that'd be the thing he really wanted to join. He wanted to join the Titans. Um, for other things further away, I would want a Wildcat movie because I think
Okay,
Wildcat's cool.
that's
That's
kind
it.
of weird.
I just think
Yeah,
Wildcat's kind of cool.
look at fucking Justice Society movie. I've always wanted them to make one.
Man, you asked me for my take. I think Wildcat's cool. That's it.
Yeah, but he's cool, but he interacts with the Justice Society. Like
Indeed,
even
he does.
you know, what'd be really
But
fucking cool.
I would want it to be more like a boxing movie.
No, you know what would be really fucking dope? Like a come out of retirement kind of movie where he's like investigating like something involving one of the people he used to work with, like a past like superhero on the society or something. He's like solving their murder.
If anything,
That'd be
I'd have
cool
it
as
be
fuck.
kind of similar to the My Hero Vigilantes run, where you don't probably don't know, but My Hero has a Vigilantes run where these other people who are not licensed heroes are just like saving the day, and they have a Wildcat type character. He's this older, gruff guy who just kind of boxes people, and he eventually takes the main character as his like protege and like tries to shape him up into be a proper hero. He doesn't like show him how to use his powers or anything. He just like teaches him the methodologies and like the mentalities you have to be a hero kind of shit. So it'd be like that, where it's not like I'm training a clone of myself like Batman is really, but it'd be like he just like takes this kid under his wing. Not even like that guy wants it to happen. He just like chooses like you're my protege now. And this guy's like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Kind of like
Yeah.
that.
I'd have done some like it'd be like almost like some Watchmen shit where a past associate dies and he's finding out who killed him, and he'd be way out of his depth because he's not Batman, so he's not a detective. He's a guy who punches stuff. So it's like he's way out of his depth, and like he doesn't know what he's doing, but he's trying his best, you know. Oh man, that'd be so cool. You can find a nice old actor to play him. But what old actor has enough like thickness, like in terms of body, to really pull off? Hey, stop it!
I see you was going with that. So you going? I ain't like where you was going.
I wonder if Danny Trejo or whatever could play.
Trejo, man.
Trejo, whatever. I wonder if he could play a good Wildcat
Let me see.
because he certainly has the prestige. The
Arnold's
old-
Arnold's face he's got the right kind of face.
Yeah, Arnold is big enough. You can definitely put Arnold in there. But the accent, though,
True, he does
accent.
got that thick I'm not American
Yeah.
accent.
Yeah.
um
That guy from Spy Kids. No, I think he's too old now.
Oh, Antonio Banderas.
No, the guy who was in Spy Kids 4. The guy who was like training Junie and his grandfather.
Oh, his grandfather.
Yeah.
Oh no, he'd be
Yeah, her
be
pops
too old
was
now.
Antonio Banderas.
true, but he's not bulky enough, really. Also, he also has a really thick I'm not American accent.
Anyways, yeah. Oh, you know who could probably do it? That guy who was in I think he also was in what's his fucking name again? The guy who played Whiplash in Iron Man 2. Fuck, what's that guy's name again?
The Flash.
He could probably do it. He's weird. He's fucking weird looking, but you know,
He's
he was
weird
in
looking.
he was in Sin City and they put some prosthetics on him, so maybe he might be willing to do some shit like that again.
Oh, I
Give
know
him
you're talking about.
Mickey Rourke.
Yeah, give
Mickey
him an
Rourke. Yeah, Mickey Rourke.
there we go. Give him an exaggerated jaw or something to fit the. That would look cool. An exaggerated jaw for the
He's
Wildcat.
5'11" and he's 70 years old.
Yeah. I think he could do it. I think I could see him playing Wildcat.
Wasn't the height? It was the age.
Yeah. What about you, Eric? If you had to kick off a universe, you don't even have to make a whole slate. Like, let's say you had to kick off a superhero. What would your superhero universe look like? What heroes would you use? If this is DC.
Well, I would like to put together a lot of the characters for like a Justice League, not movie series, kind of like the one back in the early 2000s. Do something like that where we get these slew of characters together, see how they interact with each other, and how that develops over time in the series. I think that would be pretty interesting.
So
Also,
you focus on producing series rather than movies?
well, at least with that, because it's a lot of characters, and I feel like some of the people in the Justice League are maybe not deserving of their own movie, but this would give them a chance to shine in some kind of way.
So it's almost like I could see it like maybe there's like a Justice League film series, then there's like a TV supplemental TV series like Justice League Unlimited. And that
Like you know how like an anime, um, when they do like filler episodes, but it's centered usually on not the main character, but maybe a side character of that anime. So like it gives the audience a chance to see more of that character than they typically would in the main storyline. So I would try to do something like that for Justice League where there's the main story is still there that they're working to that they're working to tell, but there's also some room for the other characters that is not like the staple characters of DC to get some light.
Yeah.
I think that would be pretty interesting. I also thought about possibly, I don't know if how he's viewed in the DC universe, but I think it'd be interesting to see Dr. Fate get something of his own. I think maybe a movie would be great. I think he's a really cool character. That's the same reason why Ray was suggesting Wildcat is just off the basis that I think he's cool. I don't really know much about him to say he deserves his own movie, but seeing what little I saw of him in Black Adam and also seeing his character in Injustice, the video game, that's how I got introduced to him. I thought his powers was cool. I don't really know much about his backstory. So
Yeah.
He is God. That's it. That's the story.
but in terms of how he acquired his powers and everything,
I mean, back when I used to think about this,
did he get toxic waste spilled on him?
He lost his eyesight. Mr. Beast gave it back.
that's how you got his powers. But I mean, actually, he just found a fucking helmet in a cave. That's what he did.
You know, it'd be cool. A Legion of Heroes.
Legion of Superheroes.
Legion of Superheroes.
Yeah, I've been thinking about that for ages. Like if I had the chance to do this, like back in the day, I kept thinking I wanted to do I kept thinking I wanted to do Thor Ragnarok, but what it actually should have looked like and use Superman instead. And it was like Superman War World. And the premise is like Superman is on fucking Earth, and in the War World, like fucking just teleports him to the War World, and he's in this like gladiatorial match. His powers are like at their lowest, and he kind of has to like fight his way through these gladiators until he helps. He hits some other people to help him, and together they revolt against Mongol. And I thought that'd be a cool ass fucking movie. Like you do what Thor Ragnarok should have done, where it'd be like it wouldn't be like brutal, but it's like it's a little more brutal than you're used to with Superman because he's now forced to use like hand weaponry. Like he has no choice. Like he has to like use like he refuses to use swords. He doesn't want to actually kill anybody. So he keeps using like blunt instruments and shields. It'd be like a swords and sandals kind of movie, but with Superman. I just thought that shit would be so fucking dope and taking him in a new direction. That could be interesting, like seeing Superman depowered and that kind of stuff. I mean, beyond that, that's kind of the only time I ever really like. If you gave me the chance now to redo it, yeah, that probably the War World movie would probably be one of the first things I do. I'd probably focus a lot on the TV shows, like you mentioned. I'll definitely have a live action Legion of Superheroes show because I remember I had this idea that I wanted to do where the Legion of Superheroes are a very Silver Age esque team. Like usually when they're used by people, it's recalling their Silver Age roots. Like they always try to put them in the same retro costumes and that kind of thing. So in my like reboot, basically what would happen is like you'd see like the current future, like it take place in like the 31st century, but like towards the end, the Legionnaires are all adults, and like Cosmic Lad is kind of like this wanted fugitive, and he's kind of like a terrorist in a way. Like the first thing you see him do is he shows up at this facility, and he has like these magnetic powers. He's essentially Magneto, and he just starts fucking shit up. Like he's beating shit. He's killing people. Like, he does not give a fuck. He gets into the facility and he frees Saturn Girl, and he tells her we're putting the Legion back together. And like you'd see flashbacks to when they were kids, and everything looks completely different. Like it's much more lighthearted, and like everything's much better. And like the villain of the series is called like Verso, and apparently this guy named Verso rules the universe, right? And then you would learn how he came to rule the universe. And basically, he literally is a guy who tried to apply to the Legion of Superheroes. They rejected him, and then he was like, out of revenge, he had the ability. He had like technology that he could use to control people. He used that to take over the universe, and that's kind of what happened. That's why everything is so dark and gritty now. Um, and like it would be Cosmic Lad relearning over the course of the series that he doesn't have to be so brutal and so grim. Like his friends are now trying to get him to return back to who he used to be. So yeah, and I think the show would really focus. Like Cosmic Lad would be a big focus, but also another focus would be Bouncing Boy. Like he would be in the series, but he's more like the way I explored him is like he's more like indestructible than like he can inflate and bounce. Like he bounces. Like if he jumped from a building, he could hit the ground and launch into the air. But it's more like he's unbreakable. Like you can't really hurt him. Like not unbreakable in the way Superman is, but like if you shot a missile at him, he's just gonna go flying away, but he'll be fine. You know what I mean? But he's not super strong or anything. Um, yeah, and beyond that, I don't know, man. I haven't thought about this in ages, but I'd probably keep Aquaman, of course. That Flash shit, like I said, I would have, I'd have kept whatever footage we had and then reshot a bunch of it with the Flash from the CW show. And at the end of the movie, when the Flashpoint shit happens, it would be him turning into that version of Barry, and he'd be looking in the mirror like, "What the fuck?" Like touching his face and seeing he looks completely different. Um, a Justice League movie would pretty much be me adapting Crisis on Infinite Earths. It'd be like the consequences of what happened in Flashpoint, like the timeline is out of whack and things are fucking up, and the Justice League has to fix everything. And then that would like, that would be the real Flashpoint. Like after that, the reality would gel in place, and there would be some changes, but some things would be fine. Um, yeah, that's about it. Like I think I remember when I thought about like in my version of Flashpoint, it would have like a Kingdom Come inspired storyline where this version of Superman he debuted much earlier than he did in the normal DCEU. And as a result, like more heroes came out into proliferation after him. And now all these heroes are around causing havoc and like fighting each other and shit. And it's like an apocalypse and Superman has disappeared, just like he did in Kingdom Come. But when he comes back, he's fucking like he's unhinged. Like he's just like I'm tired of your shit. Like you guys are fucking idiots and I'm solving this problem. And he's just like starts fucking them up and like
Mm.
Barry has to go back and fix everything because he's now fighting an evil Superman again. Um, yeah, but yeah, you guys think that anything's gonna come of that DC universe, or you think it's another big old nothing burger?
Look, man, superhero shit's going out of phase right now. I think it's about time for new trends to start popping up. Like I'm talking, I don't even mean just superhero. I mean like superhero stuff, K-pop stuff, everything. Everything's getting like kind of old now. So there's gonna be a new wave of shit that people get obsessed with.
No, you just a hater, bro.
Sure.
No, you just a hater.
Oh, sure.
I don't think no new trends are gonna pop up. To be honest, I'm sorry.
New trends are gonna come.
I think it's gonna take a long fucking time because these studios,
It's gonna come.
mm,
It's gonna
they
come.
they try too hard. Not in our lifetime. We're not gonna get those real new trends till 2030. I'm telling you, for the next few
You
years.
said that shit like it's not in our not in our lifetime. It's gonna be in 2030. Nigga, the fuck.
When I say our lifetime, I mean it's like we're gonna really be out of it. Like the 2030 is gonna roll around, we're gonna be damn near in our almost 40, and then that's finally when people are gonna like. Because what they're gonna do is these new trends are just gonna keep popping up under the same old guises for a long time. I think that's what's gonna happen. Yeah, it's gonna suck. Like superhero movies are probably gonna start trying to look like anime. There's gonna be a lot of goofy stuff happening for a while. I think before we get new trends, we're gonna get things pushed to the point of absurdity first. Like you're gonna see the goofiest K-pop imaginable first before we get any new genres. Unless unless like a new like K-pop I can see like if a new dance craze pops up in some other international country, I can see that replacing K-pop.
So they're already doing weird, goofy shit with K-pop now, and they're like experimenting. It's not working, but they are already trying to experiment with goofy shit. But
Mm.
like K-pop is popular in the country it's come from, right? But like it being popular in the West, I think is what really made it blow up. So not that they're over there trying to make it appeal to the West, but some
Yeah,
people are trying to make K-pop
they
for the
are
West.
they are making it appeal to the West.
No,
100%.
they are not. I'm telling you
They
that they're
are.
not. I'm telling you that they're not. They're
They
like
they
the
are.
shit that's popular is popular with their people,
Yeah,
and
I know. I'm
I'm saying
saying
Okay.
that
like I'm saying there's
Korean.
two different ideas happening right now. The people
but
who are
Korean,
making it popular for them, and that is finding success here. And then there are the people who want it to be popular here, and
Korean
those
people,
people are finding it hard, like it's not success.
K-pop is made for Korean people who fetishize American culture, and the Korean people themselves will tell you this.
Okay.
It's like that. I've seen Korean people talk about this, where it's like the K-pop is not a representation of actual Korean culture. Like it isn't. Even
This
though these
man,
what
this
was that?
man Ray know more, way more, man. He spent a lot of
Oh,
time
no.
out there in Korea. Like, you know what I'm saying?
I was actually invited to go to Korea, and I said no. So,
Yeah, basically what happens is
How you say
these
no to that?
these
because I
American
had to
people.
pay the fuck. It wasn't
What's the
free.
lifetime?
Was it free? The
These
fuck?
You was
American,
expecting it to be free?
Look, if it was a free trip to Korea, I might have went. But honestly, I'm okay with the brand of racism I get to experience here in the States. I'm okay with that. I already know what to expect here, bro.
apparently it's not that bad in Korea.
That's what they say, huh?
I've heard that. But
That's what
anyways,
they say. That's what they all say. It's not that bad. And then you visit, and you're like, oh, this is what they mean by not that bad.
I've heard you see those black people talking about it, and they don't seem to have the worst time ever. But
I don't expect it to be the worst time ever. But like it's just like, come on, I don't wanna fuck around and find out. And these are from people who live there. They're like, yes, I've found the right places to go. I'm gonna be
But
there for what, 2 weeks?
don't you run that risk traveling anywhere to a
That's why I
degree
don't
that you're
travel.
not
Anyway.
familiar with? You went to Mexico.
yeah, I don't
You
know
know,
what
I
this
went to Cancun. That's just
That's
America Part 2.
Mexico. That's in Mexico.
That's just
I'm lying.
That's just
I'm lying.
America
You
Part
went to
2, bro. They literally just had a bunch of America. I literally went to Cancun. You know who I was chilling with?
You didn't see any
Europeans.
locals,
I was chilling with European
You
niggas,
still
bro.
went
I'm
to
so
another
fast.
place. And
right?
plus, everyone knows Europeans are fucking 10 times more racist than any American.
It was really just a bunch of like geriatric patients, bro. They were old as dirt. They were like literally, they were just telling me about their equivalent of the CIA, and I was just sitting there and be like, "What the fuck?"
This nigga Ray went over there to chill with people who was alive in Hitler's regime. So this nigga talking about racism. He was
This
chilling with some
man
Nazis.
right here, he loves putting words in people's mouth, bro.
His man was chilling with
He
some
loves
SS
put
officers.
this this man. Yo, it's funny because he's saying all this random shit, and somebody would sit here and believe him. He's like, "Oh, this man is right. This nigga Ray on some weird shit." I'm like, I didn't say none of that. I didn't say none of that at all.
You
They're
guys
gonna
heard
be flooding
it
the
here.
comments,
Yeah,
man. They're gonna be flooding the comments.
Who's Ray's favorite rapper? Kanye. That's all I gotta say.
And it's not because of the music.
It's not. What the fuck? All right, I'm done. I'm done. I'm cutting this shit off, bro. I'll catch y'all guys. Same bad place. Nah, I'm not even coming back. Fuck that shit.
What I was gonna say though is the Korean thing though. The funny thing with the Korean thing, you have Americans copying the K-pop shit and the things that they see because they think they're honoring Korean culture. All they're doing is eating Korean food, but then the Koreans, they're mimicking like American fashion, not even just American, but Western fashions, not American fashion, but Western fashions. So it's like this weird cannibalization of each other that's going on. It's real goofy. It's some goofy stuff. It's so funny. And then like even outside of the K-pop community, the Korean fashion is growing. So like a lot of the clothes people wear are inspired by the Koreans who are inspired by the urban wear in America. It's like it's so fucking weird. I always found that shit so goofy. Oh man. God. Because they have their own equivalent. And apparently Japanese people have it too. The American wannabes. The people who their version of weebs.
Yeah.
You ever heard of them, Ray?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're really, really into the military. Like they think the American military is cool as fuck.
The American military is cool as fuck. Nah. Cool doesn't mean good.
Yeah, they just think that shit's cool. They have like this bro, everything is a romanticized idea of what it is, right? So they have this romanticized idea of being like this really hardened soldier, just being like, yeah, that's so cool. Like it's what they thinking about it when they think American military. They just think of this like really like they think of the American movies where you get like Arnold Schwarzenegger just being like a complete badass.
When the American shows up in anime, hey, how you guys doing? My name is, you ever see those old 90s
I
anime?
mean, that's how it sounds to them. They're like,
Yeah.
what? They're like,
Hey, my name is John Watterson. I've
I
never
mean,
met an
no, they
American
still do
like
that shit today. Like, if there's an American, they still have that. What the? That's how they sound. Like it's because it's usually someone who is Japanese trying to sound American, right?
that.
It's a goofy thing, but overall, it's just found its place.
What was it, the South Park? Hey, look, Tom, I'm white. And then he say, hey, look, Tom, I'm white. And then he opened his eyes and like, I want a latte. And
They do that in Japan. They do that exact thing in Japan.
oh,
Bro, remember when
man.
Miley Cyrus got canceled for that shit? Where she did the she pulled her eyes back in a photo with a bunch of other like people. Like she was chilling with a bunch of like Asian people. She pulled her eyes back, but in the same photo, they all did this. Like they all opened their
Oh, so
eyes. They were
I think
all doing it, but they
I
were
think I
like, Miley, how could you? I was like, yo,
yeah,
what the
yeah.
fuck?
A math teacher I had was telling me how when she went to teach math in China, and like she said, one of the funny things she told me that I found so fucking funny was the students would have these American nicknames like homework, and so they would name themselves.
Bro, have you ever seen the shirts that they wear? Like it just has
Yeah,
random ass American words on it.
yeah,
Uh,
but what she yeah go
bro,
for
they
it.
literally have curse words on it too. It'll be like fuck.
Yeah, I think I
And
saw one
teachers will
that
have to be
said
like, you shouldn't wear that shirt.
I think I saw one that said credit card. It just said credit card. It's like,
Which
but
is
anyway,
it's funny because people will be making fun of how stupid Americans are. It's like, oh look, how stupid American has random Asian words. It's like y'all do the same shit over there in your home countries. We all do the
exactly.
same shit.
Yeah,
Like
yeah. But
same shit.
what do you call it?
What do you
She
call
told
it?
me that they did that they would make fun of her with the eyes like that. She told me they would do that to her in the classroom. That they would jokingly be like to make fun of her eyes. They'd open them wide. I was like, oh, so they do the same
They
shit.
do the same
I was
shit.
like,
This white woman, when she was talking about her experience, she constantly got complimented on how white her skin was.
wow.
They're like, "Oh, you're so pale. It's so good."
There's a guy who like, he became like at one point he was like a white supremacist, then he became like a Muslim terrorist, and then he finally became normal. But part of his experience, what set him on that path, was he lived in I think he lived was it Pakistan? I don't remember. It was some Middle Eastern country, and the intense racism he experienced there from the Middle Eastern people made him hate Middle Eastern people. His hatred grew from that shit. He became like a Malcolm X. Um, man. But jeez. So
All I'm saying.
You don't like K-pop, huh? Ray? You don't like K-pop?
Wow. See, more words I had never said. I have never said those words.
Ray said that he only likes Taylor Swift. He likes good American music.
I
You know,
literally was talking about how I thought the Midnight's album was garbage.
I don't even know what is Midnight's.
That was her album. It was called Midnight's, and it's bad.
Remember that song she made? Bad Reputation. Bad Reputation.
Bad
Ah, that's
Blood, you
the
mean?
worst song I've ever heard in my life. You never heard that song before?
Bad
Like
Reputation?
something like that. It's either Big Reputation or something. That is the worst song I've ever heard.
Bad Reputation, Taylor Swift.
That is the
I
worst
did
song.
something bad. I never
That
touched a narcissist, but they love me, so I play them like a
it might be Big
violin.
Reputation. It has Ed Sheeran in there.
Ed Sheeran.
It's one of the worst songs I've ever heard in my life. That song is so fucking bad. It's like I remember I would hear people playing it, and I would get so mad. I would really get mad. Yeah, it's Big Reputation.
Big Reputation.
It's fucking terrible. It's like it's just her trying really hard to do that whole like kind of like almost like I don't want to say Rihanna, but like just
It's
trying to
on the
sound like
album called Reputation. It came out in 2017. Uh, I'm, I'm looking it
what?
up. And you
Yeah.
know how Google will have like these questions that people are also looking up, right? So I literally just looked up. It just says Taylor Swift reputation. When I scroll down, it says the other questions that people are looking up. Why did Taylor make Reputation?
Yeah, it was a terrible fucking. That's what I
Oh
was
my
thinking.
god.
That shit. I was like, this is a really bad song. Like it was so
Bro,
bad.
people are
Like I
so people are asking like, yo, did she even write these songs, bro?
yeah, it's her doing this weird like wannabe urban thing. She was trying to be like I guess she was trying to shift into what was a popular genre, like trying to shift out of the pop thing. It was so bad. Like that song in particular, Big Reputation. I honestly
it's
think that's the worst song I've ever heard.
it's
Like I don't
called
think I've
Endgame.
is that what's it called? Endgame?
Yeah, it's called Endgame.
Oh well that song, man, that song was one of those songs that made me like whenever I'd hear it, I want to blow my brains out. That was like honestly the worst. Like I'm literally like I'm not even trying to exaggerate. I'm literally saying when I heard that song, I don't think I'd ever heard anything up until that point that was as bad as that song. And to this day, I don't think I've. You can show me some garbage ass drill music, and it sounded better than what Taylor Swift produced in that moment. And then like even Ed Sheeran, like man, nothing gelled on the song. It just all sounded so discordant. Weird song. Um, and another song I used to hate from I think from that same time period, that Logic song, the song about turning your TV off. One of the worst rap songs ever
The
made.
Hotline song.
Yeah, that's one of the worst rap songs ever made. Like I really don't know like
1-800-2073-8255.
such a stupid and pretentious song. Like the whole thing is I want to die, I don't want to die no more. And I'm just like what did you solve in this song?
It
Like
says I
what
don't want to be alive.
yeah, I don't want to be alive. And it's like I was just wondering like if I was suicidal, that song wouldn't help me at all. Like I'm like, okay, I still want to kill myself. I got to listen to some shitty rapper who thinks he's Lupe Fiasco, but you know, I want I still want to turn my TV off. This Lupe Fiasco wannabe did not save my life. And
Let's
like,
look at the impact of that song.
well, a lot of people criticized it, saying it was pretentious, but I thought I was the only one. But then other people agreed. But some people are like, "Oh yeah, it's so meaningful and impactful." But it was just I feel like he only made the song so that people can call it impactful. Because like giving the song the name of the fucking hotline is pretty goofy, you know? Like, that's a pretty good. That's like an attention whorish kind of thing. You know what I mean? Like that is some goofy shit. Um, but yeah, I mean, how do you feel about Logic, EJ? Do you like his music?
7%
Um,
increase after 35 days. But whether those were people who needed it or were just memeing to see if the number was real, I can't tell
Yeah,
you.
yeah. What do you think of Logic, EJ? Do you enjoy his music?
um, yeah, I used to enjoy his music a lot actually. When he had a series called the Young Sinatra tapes. It was
Yeah.
a
Oh yeah,
series of mixtapes that he dropped. They were really good.
friend EJ actually, not EJ. My friend, my old roommate T Sock actually loved those.
Yeah,
That
those
that.
were good. And then later on, when he started making his albums, I liked. I think Under Pressure was cool. And then I think around maybe like 2016, 2017, around there, I kind of stopped liking his music because he started to do this thing where um he wanted to bring more attention to certain issues like him being brought biracial and some
Yeah,
of the
yeah.
issues that was given
Yeah, he
him.
started doing that shit a lot. It's
Yeah, and
crazy.
it just kind of lost. I kind of lost interest in his music at that point. I was like, I want to hear this shit.
Yeah, he really loved mentioning he
Yeah,
was biracial for a
he
while.
did that a lot. Did that a
Yeah,
lot.
he loved saying that shit.
I mean, now he
I
still puts out music that I haven't heard any of his music
I remember
since
Little
that time.
Dicky. Remember when Little Dicky had his phase, but then what killed him was his insistence on like this thing that he thought he was bringing this new energy to hip hop. Like he kept
Yeah,
saying all the time, yeah, you know, like most hip hop is like really serious and you know, it's trying to be like hard and gangster, and I'm trying to bring like a comedy angle, and everyone's like, hip hop has had a comedy angle since before your ass was even born. Like you can find plenty of hip hop songs where they're trying to be funny. Like you're not the first one to do that shit. Like how could you say something like that in the same universe as Eminem, where almost all of Eminem's previous songs were meant to be comedic in some way? Even his darkest songs were like the imagery was obviously meant to make you laugh. You know what I mean? Like, come on, Eminem's entire like career up until a certain point was like comedic, and then he started trying to make himself more serious. You know, started trying to like reinvent himself. Right? I think when he first started, he was serious, and then he leaned heavily into like the comedy thing, and then he kind of started leaning back out of it. I don't know if I'm accurate in that description.
Now you're kind of on the money with it. I mean, he during the Marshall Mathers LP, which came out in what 2002 or 2001. He had at that point he had done a lot of the dark comedy rap, but he also had topics on real issues
Yeah,
that wasn't delivered in a dark comedic way or uh playing with words in a funny way or saying funny things or saying things in a funny voice. Um like the song Stand that everybody knows, like that's a sad song.
that's a sad song.
Yeah. Um
Yeah, go for it.
I'm trying to think of another song off that album. Uh
That's the same
I think
album? Yeah, sorry.
yeah, he's it's a dark cover. He's sitting in front of like abandoned house, of
Yeah,
what looks to be an abandoned house.
is that the same album where he has that thing where he's pretty much describing killing his baby mother?
Might be
That's
on
the
that
same.
album.
Stan? No.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Stan. Yeah, he does. Yeah, Stan. He puts
That nigga was crazy.
the wife and girl, pregnant with the child, in the trunk and drives off the bridge.
Yeah,
And at the
that,
end, he
that,
comes in as Eminem, who's like, "Yo, bro, I'm busy. I haven't gotten to your letter yet. I hope you get help. Um, here's a music play, a CD for your bro. Stay
oh yeah,
safe."
well, it was too late.
Yeah, it was
But
too
no,
late.
not that Eminem himself has a song about killing the mother of his children. I don't think it's a song. I think it's like
Um,
yeah, yeah. I know he
I think I
does.
remember.
Yeah, I don't remember what
Early
album
Eminem
though.
was just so weird to me.
Yeah, but yeah. I guess we could move on to one last thing, and then we get head out of here. Why don't you guys list a criminally underrated show? We will each list some.
Underrated show.
Like criminally underrated, like something that's actually underrated that you think deserves a lot more respect.
That's hard.
It's underrated. Thing I hate about underrated is like you got to be very particular when you use that word because underrated could mean two things. It could mean the show is received by everybody that knows it, that's seen it or heard about it, but generally like it doesn't have the commercial success.
Yeah, that's what I
Then you
mean.
got
You can talk about
you got the underrated where like it's a mixed bag of reviews.
oh yeah, dope. Either of
Yeah.
those work
I
actually.
would say something like Over the Garden Wall. I feel like it itself is a good show, but not a lot of people who've just seen it because one, it's a cartoon. Two, it was just a short. It's like a 10 episode miniseries. It happened on Cartoon Network, and that's it. It was a 10 episode miniseries, so it doesn't have a whole bunch of longevity for people to sit there and eventually figure it out that it's a good show. Like
Mhm.
once the run is done, is done. And
Yeah.
I didn't even watch it when it was like on air. I heard about it and I was like, oh, let me go give it a shot. And then I sat there and watched all 10 episodes. I was like, that was heat, bro. That was such a great show. And I actually used the show as an example for I had to do a 5 minute
Yeah, I was
presentation.
asking about all that.
Anyway, so I had to use the show as an example of how like animation can be more adult like centered or whatever. And I was like, hey, at the end I was like, look, even if you don't believe anything I said, go watch that one show, just give it a try. Someone actually DM'd me afterwards like, yo, I went and watched the show. You were right. That shit was heat. I was like,
Yo, imagine they DM'd you. Yo, I went and watched the show. This shit was trash.
yeah, that's what I thought they were gonna say. I thought it was like, you fucking wasted my time. But no, they hit me up. They literally found me on fucking I forgot what it was called. It was some random app that college kids used. Just hit me up on this random app. I was like, yo, that shit was heat. I'm so glad I watched it.
He made a fucking impression on that character.
Yeah, bro. Imagine going out of the way. It's like I didn't do that show. I have to let the guy who told me to watch
I
this
would
know.
do that. I would 100% do that. Like if someone recommended a show to me and it was that good, I would probably go trying to find their ass on Facebook or something. Try real hard. Like, yo, he said his name was Joseph, right? Roll through all the Josephs. But what about you, EJ? What's your criminally underrated show?
Hmm. I feel like I'm trying to meet both of those, even though that it doesn't matter. I could
You can
just.
give two if you want. You can give two.
I feel like one show that's really underrated, but only from the standpoint of like it was only up until recently I've heard about it. And it's not really talked about, especially when it comes to like HBO shows, because there's so many that people talk about. But the show Oz that came out in like the
Oh,
late '90s
I remember
or
that show.
late '90s or early, yeah.
That show was
Um,
prolific in its time. It's another one of HBO's
yeah,
biggest
yeah.
shows.
That's the thing. That's the thing. It's like people that know of it say nothing but great things about it, but it's just like I feel like I don't really hear about it because it kind of got overshadowed by shows like The Wire that came out after, shows like The Sopranos, even Game of Thrones you could throw in there. Like HBO has had this great run of television series, so and it was the first of it. It was like I don't know if I can't say it was the first HBO series, but it was like part of that run, like the start of that run. So a lot of like when you look at Oz too, a lot of the actors that were on there were on the wire. So they got some of them got their start on Oz.
Yeah.
Even some of the I think one or two characters that's in the Sopranos, they got their start on Oz. And there was a lot of different guest celebrities that they had appear in the show too, which made it cool. So
Yeah, that's how you
I feel like it's just not really talked about in the culture enough, but it's a really
that's
great
how
show.
you know a show is doing well when they start getting the guest appearances. That means
Yeah,
that show is doing well. But the
yeah,
thing is, Oz introduced one of the greatest actors I think of our generation. He's an underrated actor. I think BD Wong. Guy's an
yeah.
underrated.
He
He's a
was in
great
that.
fucking
Yeah.
actor, and he doesn't get enough respect for how
Even
good he.
the guy from SVU was in there too.
Oh, Stabler.
Stabler, he was in it too. Yep.
That's his real name, but yeah, it was. Ray, could
Mhm.
you look up the real name of Elliot Stabler?
I could.
Yeah. I forgot his real name, but he's a great actor too, that guy. He was in Man of Steel. Hey, the way he died, the way he died was so fucking awesome.
His
Because
name is
yeah.
Christopher Maloney.
Oh, I think that does sound familiar. But anyways, the way he dies, right, is that right?
It's Christopher Maloney, bro. I'm looking at him. I'm looking at his face. Here, look.
Oh, you recognize him? Okay.
Well, I mean, like, I have pictures. Like,
Where I
his
remember
face
his
is
name
right
being
there.
oh shit! I swear I remember his name being something different.
Christopher
Anyway,
Maloney.
he in Man of Steel, right? One of the characters, Feora, she says to him, "A good death is its own reward," right? And when they're on the ship, he has like this black hole generator thing, and she gets on the ship and she's trying to stop it, and he has no choice but to like crash the ship and get the black hole generator to activate, knowing full he's gonna die. And before he does it, he looks at her and he goes, "A good death is its own reward," and then he crashes the ship.
Mm.
And then they die. And I was like, God damn. I was like, coldest nigga in the whole movie. But anyways,
I was gonna say
yeah, go for it,
another
Mr.
show I was
Jones.
gonna mention too is it's a show actually getting another season. I mentioned it before on another previous episode.
Oh, was it
The
extras? I think you said.
Nah, no,
No,
Party
okay.
Down. It's about a team of caterers.
Oh yeah.
Um, yeah, they're dropping a new season this month, but
I think
it
the
only had
reason
a
why
2 season run, but it doesn't really that show never gets talked about. And
I think yeah.
yeah, anybody I've spoken to about it, I don't think they're like, oh yeah, I love it or anything. It was just like, oh yeah, it was cool.
I think the reason I was thinking of extras is because when you described Party Down, it sounded similar. Because extras was like a show about these extras, and it was them trying to like make their mark on all these big actors and stuff, so you get their start in the industry.
Yeah.
So a similar concept. But yeah, yep.
I got one more. I got one more. My bad. I got one
Go
more.
for it.
I should have named this one. Wings, man. Wings was a great show, great sitcom,
That's an old ass show too.
bro. Wings, bro. I just love the how unique it is, cause It's about two brothers that are both pilots. And like all the episodes take place in the airport, and they
This
they
nigga
get
took
into
us
they
back.
be they be sharing the same love interests.
Didn't that show
Um,
come out in like the 80s?
think so. It's an old show. Wings don't get talked about. Y'all never met somebody walking this planet. Like
Family Guy. That's the
I
only
never.
show. I've
I've
heard
spoken
Family
to a
Guy.
number of. I've spoken to a number of like older people,
Mhm.
and not one of them have been like, "Oh yeah,
Yeah,
Wings was my shit back in the day." I
they'll
never
talk
heard.
about Cheers, right? They'll talk about
Yeah, they
Cheers.
talk about Cheers. They talk about Frasier. They talk
Yeah.
about I'm trying to think of another one from that time. Seinfeld, like even gets love, but
Three's,
never as
Three's
far as
Company.
sitcoms go,
Yeah.
Wings never gets talked about. Wings is definitely fit
Interesting.
that.
I mean, if I had to list, like, if they following year, if I had to list a show that was popular when it was out, although the ratings started to teeter off towards the end, but that show deserves a lot of love. But it does get love if you look. If you look it up and look in the right places, literally it'll be like usually it'll be like on lists, like people saying it was very good. That show Fringe. Fringe was a good fucking show. It was like an X Files ish show where they had like a crime of the week they were trying
Yeah.
to solve that was usually weird, but it was part of a larger storyline. It was a great show, and like the first 4 seasons are pretty good. I was scared to finish the fifth season because they completely changed the fucking story. But then I watched the fifth season and it turned out to be better than I thought. And I was scared for a long time. I was avoiding that shit like the plague. Every time I tried to rewatch it again, I'd get to the fifth season. I was like, no, I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. But then I did it, and it was actually pretty good. That show is a great show. It has a great lead. Another example of a great female lead. She's a great lead. Like she was one of Olivia Dunham, one of my favorite characters ever. And then she experienced one of the craziest things ever. And something similar happened in the show Alias, another show that doesn't get modern love, but during its time was very fucking popular. But basically in Fringe, she so there was another universe, right? And her doppelganger switches places with her. And then like her doppelganger pretty much she had there was like a will they won't they thing going on with her and this character named Peter. And her doppelganger accelerated that shit, was like fucking Peter. And then like, she comes back and she can't bring herself to love Peter because he was with her doppelganger. And then to make matters worse, her doppelganger was pretty much her but better. Like her doppelganger was like pretty much a better fighter. Her doppelganger was like an expert markswoman. Her doppelganger was like much more open because she didn't have the same traumatic experiences that she did. So she was scared. She couldn't bring herself to allow herself to get back with Peter because she kept wondering in the back of her mind if he liked the doppelganger better. And that shit was depressing. I was like, God
Yeah.
damn. I was like, that's some sad shit. And then the moment she does allow herself to do it, because they never allowed these two motherfuckers to be happy. The moment she finally is like open to getting with Peter, this motherfucker gets erased from the timeline. Yes.
Mm.
It's fucking. And then in the fifth season, they're in love, all that stuff, yada yada yada. But then these fucking niggas from the future invade, and they have to freeze themselves in this amber thing. So they never get to see their daughter. Their daughter like fucking grows up. Then when they get to see their daughter again, guess what happens? Their daughter fucking dies. So they only get to see their daughter again, but they reset the timeline.
I
So
like
they
how
get
you're laughing through all these painful moments in the show.
because as I was watching the show, I just kept saying they really just don't want these niggas to be happy, huh? Like, they just never gonna let them be happy. Because even though they reset the timeline, I don't know they didn't remember. Even though I was gonna say they probably still remembered. So yeah, that show, it's not underrated per
That's
se.
Alias.
No, that's Fringe.
Oh, Fringe.
Alias. I never finished it, but Alias, again, during its time, very well lauded, very well respected show. Not talked about much anymore, but now that was a good fucking show. Like, and Alias is a show that had to walk so others could run because without a show like Alias, you don't get the primetime shows that like people respect. Because Alias had like really good fucking music, really good storylines. Like it was like when it comes to like primetime television, that shit was an experience, like a fucking cinematic experience. Like Ray, I think Ray saw me when I was watching Alias because I would sit there watching it at his house. And one thing I loved about Alias was the fucking music. It had these like sort of like almost house beatish kind of things. Like whenever she was doing some mission, music would play. It was like you like some shit like that. And every day the music would be on, and I'd be dancing like a goofball to the music, like a fucking idiot. I used to do that shit all the time. Oh man, that show. And then something similar in that show happened where she finally gets the guy that she liked. Because she couldn't allow herself because they were working together, and she finally decides to go with it. And then this bitch gets abducted and wakes up 2 years later. I think it was like 2 or 3 years later. And then this nigga already remarried. And so it's like no, not remarried. He married someone. He had a fiance. That shit was sad. I was like, God damn. Oh, and Jennifer Garner?
She was alright back then. She was
Yeah,
alright.
I watched Alias. Jennifer Garner is a real treat in that show. Like she has these really full lips. I remember I think I kept asking Ray, I was like, yo, her lips had to be done, right? I was like, they just look too like
Her lips are
full.
full.
Yeah,
Never heard of that.
yeah, I'm telling you, if you look at it, like when you watch that show, the way her lips like pout out, it's like, yo, that's crazy. Like, so yeah, that's an underrated show. But the show I really wanted to mention before you brought to my mind shows that were admired in their time but don't really get talked about anymore. Um, oh, actually, there's one more show that didn't really get talked about that much. It kind of flew under the radar. Do you guys remember a show called Reaper? That was on CW.
No.
That show was fucking awesome, but it only got like 2 seasons and it disappeared. It was like supernatural, but funnier and a little more interesting, like the dynamics. So basically, Reaper was like this guy finds out his parents sold his soul to the fucking devil when he was a baby. So the devil comes like, yeah, you work for me now. And, his job is like, first of all, he has a shit job. He hates his fucking job. There's that. And then his job is he has to like whenever demons escape from hell, he has to go back and catch them. And one of the cool gimmicks in the show was he would always get like an object that he had to use to catch the demon, but he would never know how it fucking worked. So like he'd have to figure out by the end of the episode how it works and how to get the demon into whatever it is that he was given. And usually it would relate to how the demon died. So like there was like a firefighter. He came back. He had fire powers. I forgot. I think they had a fire extinguisher. I don't remember how they had to get rid of him. Oh, and as usual, as common with shows back in the 2000s, he had a friend that was an idiot because that's just something they did back then a lot. Like you look at those movies in the 2000s, those shows in the 2000s, the character's best friend is always a fucking idiot. Like that's just like Corey in the House, That's So Raven. It was just something they did back then. Um, so yeah, that show, man, that was a good show. And I remember that what they did is this is a spoiler. I don't know, you guys are probably never gonna watch Reaper, right?
No.
Oh, should I spoil it? Whatever, I don't give a fuck. No one, I don't think anyone's gonna go back and watch Reaper. But one of the cool things that happened in Reaper is it's revealed that he's the devil's son, right? And like then you meet his brother, and his brother's like this retarded dick that the devil loves so much more. Because like the other guy's a good person, so of course the devil doesn't give a fuck about him because he's a good person. Um, but he loves the other son because the other son's a dick. But then they flip that on its head, where the devil reveals that the reason why he's harder on the other guy and not on his other son is because he knows the other guy's an idiot. And he's like, I respect you though. He's like, you are who I expect to take over for me when I'm gone. It's like the other guy, I know he can't do it, but it's like I know you can. So like they played around with that for a little bit. But ultimately, the show I think does not get enough respect is Generator Rex. That show, I keep saying it was like the last great action cartoon of the CN. Like after that, all the action cartoons tried too hard to be like kiddie and funny. Generator Rex have had a perfect balance of humor and action and sadness. Like there's be sad things like his parents pretty much being fucking dead Like they're just dead. And there's no coming back. There's no time. No, they're just dead. And then when he meets his brother, like me and Ray were talking about in that other episode, he doesn't even know if he can trust him because he hasn't even seen his brother in years, and his brother just fucking shows up out of nowhere in like some weird armor, if I remember correctly, and like they think he's a villain at first, and then even when he reveals who he is, they still don't know if they can trust him. And his brother was very weird, so brother
His
wasn't
brother
helping.
was super weird. Where I was like, that nigga's evil. He has to be.
You know, like one thing Generator Rex really really knew how to like. I'm trying to think of how to explain this. Like a simmering storyline where like things are revealed over time. Like Van Kleis, when he first meets Van Kleis, and he does not remember anything about his fucking life. And Van Kleis knows him by name, keeps mentioning things about him that Rex does not know about himself. So they set up that thing that Van Kleis knows him. And then you learn, yeah, Van Kleis was there during the original event that kicked off everything, and that's why. Like he literally knew Rex's parents. I think he did hate them. Like I think he fucking hated them even when he knew them. And then they did one of the coolest fucking things ever. Like you remember Ray when Van Kleis got sent back in time
Not
and was
really.
pretty much you don't remember?
I don't really remember. No.
Oh shit! This motherfucker got sent back in time and had to keep jumping through time. And then he came back. When he came back, he was like fucking crazy. Except we learned he was only pretending. Like he came back and was pretending to be crazy so no one would take him seriously. That was a great fucking show, man. And then the way it ended perfectly because Rex saves the world. He cures everybody, right? But then they make sure to let you know that there's still shit going on. Like the last scene is some mad scientist in like a suit of armor destroying the city, and he's like, "Yeah, I still got a job to do." And then the show is just over. I was like, 10 out of 10 ending, 10 out of 10. It's like his adventures continue. You know, you're not gonna be here for them, but just know he still exists. Yeah, that's all I got. Mm.
I also thought of another show too randomly.
Man, get
Um,
your
I thought of another show. This one I don't really know. Have you guys ever heard of a show called Pal XY? That show was cool.
Oh shit! I remember that
Yeah,
show when I
that
was a
show was
kid.
cool. That
I
show
just
was cool.
when I first saw that show, I thought it was a ripoff of Smallville.
Yeah, nah, I remember going back. I watched it when I was younger because it would just come on TV, and then I went back to it like years later and watched the entire run. It didn't really hold up too well. Like it was still good, but I think towards like maybe the last season, they just did like some bullshit. And even the ending, it wasn't even like a real ending. The show got canceled, which I found out later because they ended on a cliffhanger. So they intended to have another season, but I guess it just didn't get picked up for one. But
No,
it was I remember it being real interesting, like the concept with the
it
guy having
reminded,
these superhuman abilities and
it
everything.
reminded me of when ABC Family had those shows, bro. Remember
Yeah.
fucking Fallen? Remember that?
Fallen? No, I never heard of Fallen.
Oh, you remember Fallen, Ray?
No, I don't watch
Oh, it
live
was like
action
this
TV.
kid. He was a fucking angel. Damn, I don't even remember the show. Where he learns he's a fucking oh he's like a half angel, half human or some shit. Man, that was
Kyle,
another
Kyle,
cool.
X- Kyle XY was like that cool like that cool dessert. Like you know what I'm saying? Like you can't have too much of it. But it was like it was satisfying
Yeah,
for a certain amount of time.
shows don't have to be fucking perfect to them for them to
Yeah,
be enjoyable. Like
yeah.
Reaper wasn't the most perfect show ever, but I mean it was actually pretty good in regards. Actually, you know, it's not a good example because Reaper was like unexpectedly good. Like I remember when I rewatched it, I thought it was just gonna be like me rewatching some goofy thing from when I was
Yeah.
younger, but then I was like, damn, this show actually had some depth. Like it was funny, but still had depth and stuff. I was like, wow, okay. And it had some dark humor sometimes. I was like, this is weird. Like every time there's like those standouts on a network where most of the network might be kind of lame or something, but there's just that one show on the network that's really good for some reason. Um, but another fucking show that got swept under the rug. There used to be this show called The Cape, right? And it wasn't a bad show. It was kind of goofy. It came out around the same time, like when CW was making all those superhero shows. This show on ABC, they were trying to like I guess, compete. They made a show called The Cape, and the premise was it was like this cop in this like crazy town, and he like gets framed for a crime he didn't commit by this guy named Chess or something. Um, and he gets pulled in by this circus of crime. That's what they were called, literally. I think they're like a circus of crime, and he gets taught how to use this like special thing called the cape. It was like a special thing they use in the circus, and the cape would allow him to do crazy things. Like he could use it to fight, and it was a good show. Like it wasn't terrible. It wasn't terrible. I think it only got one season, but it wasn't a bad show. It was very like what do you call it? It was very cheesy, and but it was trying to be cheesy. You know what I mean? Like it was doing that stuff on purpose. And I
Yeah.
think the writers even said they were going for like that old, almost Adam West kind of aesthetic. Like the villain, his name was fucking Chess, and I think if I remember correctly, he had like chess piece shaped irises. Like he hid them, but he had them. That shit was so dumb, but funny. And then another show from like I think this came out way before The Cape. Ray probably remembers this show. No Ordinary Family.
No,
You don't remember that?
I did not
No.
watch live action TV.
Live action.
Oh man. Well, No Ordinary Family was like a cool ass show. It was like Heroes. Like imagine if you took
Heroes
like
is dope. Heroes is dope.
yeah, it's like imagine if you took Heroes and fused it with The Incredibles. Like this family goes on like a plane trip, they crash into this water, and it gives them all superpowers. Like the dad becomes super strong, the son became super smart. He was like an idiot before that. And he becomes like super smart. The daughter has the power to read minds, and the mother becomes super fast, right? And at first they think they're alone, but then they learn that like this has happened before, and there are other superhumans, like they're all around, and like the mother learns that the person she works for like fucking knows about superhumans and is like studying them and killing them. It becomes this whole thing. And like one really cool thing the show did, because the dad, I think was a cop, so he had the perfect opportunity to use his powers. And he had this black friend. It really was like The Incredibles. His black friend didn't have powers, but and the father, I remember at one point he goes out to like one of the first times he goes out to fight crime. He's like, "Oh, I'm indestructible. Like I'll be fine." And the guy shoots him in the back of his neck, and it looks like he died. But then you learn it's because like that part is more vulnerable. Like even though it's still really fucking strong, it's still vulnerable. So the bullet doesn't go all the way in, but it lodges a little bit in his neck. But his friend really thought he was fucking dead. Like his friend thought it was over because he sees the guy shoot him and he drops over bleeding. And his friend is
Yeah.
like, "Oh no, oh fucking no." But yeah, that was a great show. That was a great show, and then it disappeared. I think it also, like you said, I think it had. I don't remember. I think it had like 2 seasons. No shit, only had one season. No. But I think what happens is it starts to get really bad towards the end. Like it starts
Yeah,
stupid.
a lot of those shows they start to decline, especially if they're not like hugely successful from the start. So they start trying to do things to switch it up.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, that's all I got. You got
Yeah.
anything else, Ray? Or you just gonna stay with Over the Garden Wall?
Yeah, I'm good. That's it.
Yeah. Well, on that note, get the fuck out.
He's not joking. We're out of here.